Early in my career, a senior developer called PMs typing monkeys. And you know what? From the outside, I get it. Because it really looks like we just spend our days in meetings and creating Jira tickets. But let me show you exactly what we do as product managers. When I switched from a developer to a product manager after 10 years of coding, I thought I knew exactly what I was getting into. Because I've worked with PMs for ages. So how hard could it be? Well, very hard. My first few months were pure chaos. Roadmap fights, engineering versus sales drama, client escalation. Everyone wanted answers I definitely did not have. The struggle was real. But here's what nobody tells you. This is the job. The mess is the work. And once I stopped avoiding it and learned how to navigate it, that's when everything changed. So let me walk you through everything I do as a product manager. I'm talking the real stuff that happens. Here's the biggest misconception. People think that PMs need to have all the answers, and that's not true. My job is to ask the right questions and make sure that everybody is actually solving the same thing. Because if you don't do that, here's what happens. Last quarter, we were building a new feature. Okay, exciting, right? Engineering wanted to build it a certain way. Design had a completely different vision. And sales, goodness, you guys. And sales were promising something completely different to clients. Something that has not even been discussed yet. So my job was not to pick a side. It was to get everybody in the room and make sure that we are all working towards the same target. And that's what product management is all about. It's alignment. It's making sure that we're building the right things. We're not just building things for the sake of building things. So what does that mean on a day-to-day? It means that I talk to users a lot. I'm reading feedback, analyzing data. I need to figure out what are people struggling with? What are they confused by? And what's the biggest pain point that we're not addressing in our solution? What do they actually love in competitors' solution? This is called ideation and research. And then I figure out what goes to the roadmap and what doesn't. That's scoping and prioritization. We cannot deliver every single idea that we come up with. So we really need to understand what's our scope and what the priorities are. What can we ship really quickly to start getting feedback? That's called an MVP, minimum viable product. And it's a mini version of a product with just enough functionality and features to be usable by customers. It's the best way to get feedback on products because it gives the users something concrete to test and provide feedback. Part of the scoping and prioritization is also identifying what are the nice to haves that we can build later on or that we'll never build. Understanding the scope and priorities is super important. I'm also constantly thinking with developers, designers, sales, marketing. As I said, I need to bring everybody together and I need to make sure that everyone is working on the same target. My job is to make sure that everyone knows what we are doing and why it's important to do it. Because if I don't keep everyone aligned, things fall apart really fast. Then obviously once we ship something, we need to test and iterate. And what that essentially means is that we ship something, we get feedback, we build, fix bugs, and then we do the same thing again until we're satisfied with the product. So yes, technically, I am in meetings all day, but those are not basic status meetings. Those are meetings where decisions happen. This is when we identify and unblock the dependencies. It's not always glamorous to be in a meeting room all day, every day, but that's how things get done. And here's what no PM course teaches you. The job is not about how much technical knowledge you have. Take this from someone who's been a developer for 10 years before switching to management. What actually makes or breaks your career as a product manager is how you work with people. Can you stay calm when a client is angry? Can you make decisions with half the information that you actually need? Can you communicate clearly when everything is on fire? And most importantly, can you build trust with your team? Because if your engineers do not trust you, they will not tell you that something's wrong. They will try to fix it themselves, but they will not tell you. And then if they don't manage to fix it and you have a client demo, well, guess what? That's when you're gonna know that you have a problem. But if you build trust with your engineers, and if they're comfortable talking to you, they will seek you out when there is a problem. You don't have to chase for updates. And let's say there's a problem, you will know it in advance. You will get to contribute to the solution. Or even if that's out of your area of expertise, you will have plenty of time to decide how you're going to communicate that to your stakeholders. So build those relationships with your team. Establish that communication channel as fast as you can. And you know what? This is why I volunteer to do things that are not part of my job description. For example, coaching the juniors and helping the developers translate their work from technical to English. Because let's be honest, developers and clients, they do not speak the same language. They just don't. And this is where you get to shine. You translate technical to business. So it's really important to me that all the people that work on my projects feel comfortable talking to me. It just makes my life so much easier. So yeah, from the outside, it might look like I'm just sipping tea and running from one meeting to the next. But the truth is, without the big picture that I'm keeping track of, and without aligning everyone to work on the same target, nothing will get done. It just won't. And honestly, that's why I love my job. There is so much room to make actual impact on every product that gets shipped to customers. And obviously, there's a second side of the coin. It's not always fun. Some weeks I'm dealing with angry clients, conflicting priorities, and impossible deadlines. But the beauty of the job is when you ship something to your end users and they like it, or when your team comes together to solve a big problem you've all been struggling with for weeks, or when the junior that you've been coaching gets promoted, you realize that it's really not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about making everyone else successful. It's about motivating others to actually want to give their best. So if you love solving problems and you enjoy working with people and bringing new ideas to life, product management is one of the best jobs in tech. If you've been curious about what PMs actually do all day, now you know. It's strategy, it's communication, it's decision making, and a whole lot of figuring it out as you go. But I personally love it. That's just the reality of it. I'm actually curious to know, which part surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments.